Diddy, the freak monster
No, come on.
on deletion, self-deletion. Ain't no way, bro.
No,
Ain't
come
no
on.
way, bro.
You lost me there.
I guess that's what $1 million gets you. $3 million defense. They'll plead anything. They'll plead. You got shanked. Diddy is fighting for his life right now. He's back in court leading up to next week, which is next week of within 2 weeks. He'll have the final sentencing, but they are back in court. Let's take a look. Fair use. Shout out to Pop Crime TV with Lauren Collin.
Hey everyone, it's been a minute and I am outside of Manhattan Federal Court for the Diddy hearing. Now, we have not seen Diddy since July when he was convicted on the 2 Mann Act charges related to transportation to engage in prostitution. And there was a hearing today ahead of sentencing, and sentencing is next week, October 3rd. But the defense wanted to argue why he should be acquitted on the 2 charges or get a new trial. And the judge also submitted basically questions for the government to answer, and then allowed for the defense, Alexandra Shapiro, since she's Diddy's appellate lawyer, to argue. So anyway, sorry, he said some, interesting things. So Diddy walked in and they had submitted something yesterday. It probably was too late for him to wear his street clothes, collared shirt, sweater, whatever, but he wore his tan prison garb and he was all smiles. He appeared to be in good spirits, but he was really shaggy looking, his hair, his beard. But he was really happy to see his daughters. They were there first, Delilah, Chance, and Jesse, and all of his kids were there actually, except for the baby and his mom, Janice Combs. So he turned around and talked to them. He smiled at the press, smiled at the public. But I would say the biggest takeaway, or the biggest mic drop moment at the end, was Alexandra Shapiro really nailing it with the nailing the whole Mann Act thing being racist and outdated. So she actually said, quote, "The history of the Mann Act statute is an embarrassment to the United States, and he should be acquitted just on that alone." She said that many judges and juries don't even uphold the Mann Act. So, and there also was a lot of, going back to some of the questions that the judge asked the government. They said, what is your motive here? What is the government's interest in pursuing a prostitution charge or a Mann Act charge? And Slavic actually said, we want to pursue this. The government wants to pursue this because it would mitigate violence against women, drug use, the transmission of diseases. And the defense was like, well, our client was acquitted on the violence and anything to do with drugs. And additionally, they said, this is what the defense said. She said that prostitution is not something, or the Mann Act, that the DOJ pursues unless it pertains to a criminal enterprise or someone running a criminal enterprise, making money and also involving minors. I said that horribly. Sorry. I should just find it in my notebook. But yeah, they said they basically said that. They also argued, again, the voyeurism thing with Diddy, that, he obviously was not profiting off of this. This was more a voyeurism between him and a person that he was in a relationship with. So he had no financial motive. And they also argued a First Amendment right, where he is entitled to film the hotel nights or whatever you want to call it, and that's part of his First Amendment right. And I thought it was kind of funny. Slavic actually said,
I need that type of defense, my man. This is the type of defense that $1 million gets you. People are putting filming the act as this is wild. But I have to say, listening to Lauren and how the prosecution is, they're really floating right now. They're looking very bad because they are referencing stuff that he has been acquitted of. RJ.
That's true. That's true. That's
It
true.
sounds
That's true.
crazy. They're talking about criminal enterprise. They're talking about, well, I'll say it, kids. What are we talking about? Why are you bringing kids into this?
Yeah. Well, I think that what we're seeing, KR, is that what I think the argument that they're trying to make is that for the things that he's currently being detained, usually, so I guess it's a context thing, right? So I guess what they're saying is if none of those things are applicable, then he should be a free man.
That's
I
what
think
this
that's what they're
defense is
saying.
saying.
Yeah. So of course, so I don't think there are. I think the only thing that they're saying is if we know that he's not guilty of the other things, then why do you have him?
Because transporting guys from state to state to bang your girl is not good for society, I guess. That's what they're trying to say.
Amen.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I'm transporting guys from state to state to bang my own girl. Yo, this is wild. Diddy, what are you doing, my man? This is crazy.
I think KR, to be honest, I think what he's saying as well. I think what they're saying as well is that I think what they're saying is that he shouldn't be. They shouldn't be so. What's the word I'm looking for? They should be more lenient. They should be more lenient. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I think at the end they probably will be lenient because, come on, man, what are we talking about? I mean, we all know that Diddy is a deviant. He's a
Freak.
He's a freak. Yes. I was looking for a good word. I think freak is a good word. He's a freak.
Super freak.
He's a super freak. Super freak. Yeah, he's a super freak. Well, he's a monster freak. But at the end of the day, they couldn't prove anything. Of all the things they could prove, they only could prove that he was transporting guys from state to state to bang his girl.
But it was not against their wills. Their will.
That's the worst part. He's paying these guys to fly in, paying and
to do something,
to do something they probably would do for free. Hey, all that paying to keep them quiet didn't help. At the end, they had to talk anyway to the cops.
Yeah, they were all to the cops on the podcast.
This is crazy.
They were all talking.
Doing podcasts. Hey, this is crazy, man. This looks crazy on Diddy, man. At the end of the day, we still have 2 shows of Diddy, and of course, guys, we're gonna look back at the end of the year about this whole Diddy saga because we covered a lot of shows. We did a lot of shows on it, and it's still not over. Once we know the verdict, by the end of this week, we'll talk about it the week after. Hopefully, not sure if it will happen. Let's hope we can do that. Other than that, there's also a new case, RJ. It doesn't stop. I mean, people are trying to still grab some money while they still can. Fair use.
Off of Diddy.
Yes.
Another lawsuit filed against Sean Diddy Combs. This time, a former stylist claims to be Diddy's victim in a case of sexual harassment and physical abuse. We're talking about someone named Deontay Nash, was one of the witnesses, by the way, in the trial against Mr. Combs.
Whoa. Is he talking about he or she?
Deontay sounds like a man, right?
Oh. Okay, let's continue listening.
He alleges that Combs turned his dream of working in entertainment into a nightmare. So in the lawsuit, he claims Combs assaulted him, stalked him, and threatened him during 10 years of employment. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman covering the first Diddy trial where the entertainer got off on some of the bigger charges. So walk us through these newest claims, Katrina.
Reed, so he outlines allegations of battery, assault, sexual violence, physical and psychological abuse, labor trafficking, he says. And a lot of what Deontay Nash...
Labor trafficking? What is that? Can you look that up while we continue to listen? Labor trafficking. Can imagine what it is, but I'm gonna let you read it out loud. I will continue.
I have it, yeah. Labor trafficking in the United States is a form of human trafficking where victims are made to perform a task through force, fraud, or coercion as it occurs in the United States. This type of trafficking is typically distinguished from S.
the classic mistake. It's the classic mistake.
You try to use the first letter and it just makes it worse. It's distinguished from sex trafficking, where the task is sexual in nature. People may be victims of both labor and sex trafficking. So labor trafficking is so it's just for work.
Okay. Regular work.
Yeah. Non-sexual work.
So actually, if you're hiring if you're hiring an illegal alien to clean your house, you're labor trafficking.
Yes.
If it stays from state to state.
Yes. If it's baby alien, then you're good.
Yeah, it's an alien, so it doesn't fall under the Constitution.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Fair use.
Says in this complaint mirrors testimony that we heard during that trial, both from Nash and from others like Sean Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who was a key witness at that trial. Deontay Nash is also a stylist who worked very closely with Ventura, and his testimony at that trial really bolstered what she had to say. But he talks in this complaint, Reed, about fearing for his life, not just while he was working for Sean Combs, but afterwards. He tells stories about physical violence, about a time where he actually had to drive 100 miles an hour to try to escape Mr. Combs, and says he didn't call the police because he worried that would be a death sentence. Now, our correspondent, Jerika Duncan, has actually talked to Deontay Nash. She's planning to sit down with him, and she said that he stands by what is in this document, and he says that to this day, he is still processing what happened to him while he was working for Sean Combs.
So a lot of the same themes that we heard in the really big trial. We know that Combs will be sentenced October 3rd, convicted of 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution. Any word from his lawyers and family ahead of sentencing?
Yes, so they have filed a document. What they're asking for, Reed, is less than 14 months for a sentence for Sean Combs. And as a reminder, by the time we hit the sentencing next week, he will have already served about a year. So that would essentially just be a couple months in prison. But what they're saying is that, one, he was acquitted on the most severe charges against him, and that should show that this jury found that he was innocent in a lot of ways. They also say this has already devastated his life, devastated his children's lives as well. They've also lost business opportunities. He's been on suicide watch, they say.
I'm done.
Come on. Okay, you lost me.
Diddy, the freak monster.
No, come on.
On deletion, self-deletion, ain't no way, bro. No way, bro.
You lost me there.
I guess that's what $1 million gets you. $3 million defense. They'll plead anything. They'll plead. You got shanked with an ice pick.
Come on.
Well,